Once upon a time, there was a young couple named Emily and John. They were very happy together. They loved to travel, go to the movies, and eat at nice restaurants. They had a comfortable life. But one day they started talking about something special. They wanted to start a family. At first, Emily and John were nervous. They had never taken care of a baby before. They asked themselves many questions. Will we be good parents? Are we ready for this big change? They talked for hours and hours. Finally, they decided that they were ready to try. The first few months were exciting. They read books about babies, watched videos, and talked to friends who had children. They wanted to learn everything. Every night they imagined what their life would be like with a baby. And then one day, Emily found out she was pregnant. She was so happy, and she could not wait to tell John. When he came home, she surprised him with the news. John was shocked, but then he started to smile. He hugged Emily tightly and said, "We are going to be parents." The months went by, and Emily's belly grew bigger and bigger. Emily and John prepared a room for the baby. They painted the walls, bought a crib, and chose some cute clothes. They were ready to meet their little one. As the baby's arrival came closer, Emily and John felt both excited and scared. They wanted to be the best parents, but they knew it wouldn't be easy. Every day they practiced changing diapers on a toy doll. They laughed a lot, but deep inside they were nervous. One evening, John held Emily's hand and said, "I know we will make mistakes, but I also know we will learn. We will give our baby so much love, and that's the most important thing." Emily smiled and agreed. They promised to support each other no matter what happened. Finally, the big day came. Emily felt pain in her belly and knew it was time. John quickly grabbed the bag they had packed and helped her to the hospital. They were both scared, but they knew this was a special moment. They held hands and breathed deeply. After hours of waiting and hard work, their baby was born. It was a beautiful baby girl with tiny fingers and a cute little nose. Emily and John couldn't believe their eyes. They were now parents. They looked at each other and smiled, knowing their lives had changed forever. Holding their baby in their arms, they felt a new kind of love. It was strong, pure, and endless. They knew that they would do anything to keep their child safe and happy. At that moment, they forgot all their fears. They only felt joy. The first night at home with the baby was difficult. Emily and John were very tired, and the baby cried a lot. They tried everything to make her calm down. John rocked her gently, and Emily sang a soft lullaby. But the baby kept crying. They felt helpless and didn't know what to do. After a while, the baby finally fell asleep. Emily and John looked at each other and laughed. "This is going to be harder than we thought," John said with a smile. Emily agreed, but they both knew they would keep trying their best. They were a team, and they would face every challenge together. Over the next few weeks, they learned many new things. They learned how to change diapers quickly, how to hold the baby just right, and how to understand her different cries. Each day, they felt a little more confident as parents. They were learning together, step by step. Even though they were often tired, they found joy in small moments. When the baby smiled for the first time, Emily and John felt like their hearts would burst with happiness. They took lots of photos to remember these special times. They knew that their baby would grow fast, and they wanted to remember every little moment. Each night before going to bed, they looked at their sleeping baby and felt thankful. Becoming parents was hard, but it was also the most wonderful thing they had ever done. They knew that life would be different now, but they were ready for it. As the months went by, Emily and John's baby girl grew bigger and stronger. She learned to hold her head up, then to roll over, and soon she was trying to crawl. Each new thing she did filled Emily and John with pride and excitement. They cheered her on with every little movement and every sound she made. One day, while John was at work, the baby said her first word. She looked at Emily and said, Emily's eyes filled with tears of happiness. She picked up her daughter and hugged her tightly. Later that night, she couldn't wait to tell John. When he heard, he was so proud and a little jealous. He wanted to hear her say, they spent time reading books to their baby, singing songs and playing with her toys. They wanted her to grow up feeling loved and happy. Watching her learn and grow was a special joy for them. Every day felt like a new adventure. Sometimes they felt tired and wished for a quiet moment to relax. But when they looked at their daughter's bright eyes and happy smile, they felt full of energy again. She was their world now, and she made every hard moment worth it. Emily and John realized that becoming parents had changed them in ways they never expected. They were stronger, more patient, and more caring. They had learned to put someone else's needs before their own, and they were proud of that. As their baby girl continued to grow, Emily and John noticed new changes every day. She started to crawl faster, explore every corner of the house, and even try to stand up. She was curious about everything. Emily and John had to keep an eye on her all the time to make sure she was safe. One day, while they were playing together, their little girl took her first steps. She held on to the edge of the couch and slowly let go, wobbling as she tried to walk. Emily and John cheered, clapping their hands and encouraging her. She looked at them, giggled, and tried again. This was a big moment for all of them. They felt so proud, watching her grow and become more independent. Each day, they loved her more and more. They saw how quickly she was changing, and they wanted to enjoy every moment. They knew that soon she would be talking, running, and exploring even more. Emily and John started to teach her new words, showing her objects and saying their names. They loved hearing her try to say ball, cat, and tree. Even when she got the words wrong, they encouraged her with smiles and claps. Her laugh was the best sound in the world to them. Life was busy but full of joy. They were learning what it truly meant to be a family. Through all the sleepless nights and busy days, they were building memories that would last forever. Emily and John knew they were lucky to have each other and their little girl. As their daughter grew older, Emily and John felt a deep sense of pride. She was now walking and talking more every day. She loved to say Mama and Dada, and she even learned to say, I love you. Hearing those words made Emily and John feel like the happiest parents in the world. One evening, they all sat together in the living room, looking through family photos. They showed their little girl pictures of when she was a tiny baby. She laughed and pointed at the pictures, saying, "That's me." Emily and John realized how quickly time had passed. It felt like just yesterday they were bringing her home from the hospital. They knew that more challenges would come as she grew older, but they were ready for it. They had learned so much about love, patience, and teamwork. They had grown not only as parents but also as partners, supporting each other every step of the way. They put their daughter to bed that night, and as she fell asleep, they looked at her and smiled. They were grateful for this journey, for every small moment and every big milestone. They knew that being a parent was the hardest job, but it was also the most beautiful one. Emily and John sat together holding hands and felt a deep happiness. Their family was their greatest treasure. They knew that no matter what the future held, they would face it together, with love, laughter, and a little girl who made their lives complete.